to be helping you draw a last minute Valentine's Day card using the Zentangle method for drawing. So grab some pieces of paper, whatever you have. I have a 3x5 card that I'm going to be using today. And we're going to start by drawing a heart shape, right? Because nothing says Valentine's Day like a heart. You can draw freeform. Just draw your heart. And it's okay that it's not equal. If you want to fix that a little bit, you can. Might make it worse. It doesn't matter. Do what feels good to you. If you want, you can take a 3x5 card, fold it in half, draw half of your heart, and then cut it out. So then you will get a more standard Valentine, and you can use that if you prefer. And you can cut out a few to get the shape that you want to be able to draw inside of. Right, so I have a fatter one, I have a skinnier one, and I have a really fat one as options. I am just going to use the one that I drew, but feel free to cut one out if you would like to. For this tangle, we're going to draw a grid on our heart. So I am just going to go along that line. I'm kind of using this as my guide. And in Zentangle, we turn our paper a lot to help our hand stay the direction that we want it to. And I have full calf coffee today, so we'll see how straight I can keep my lines. There we go. I'm doing pretty good. All right, there is our grid that we're going to use to draw inside of. So what I'm going to begin with is a dot in the center of each one of my squares, and then I'm going to draw petal shapes or tear shapes that touch both edges of the square and then come back to the middle. And we're just going to do that in every single one of these. We put a dot in the center, and then we're going to swoop around the edges. I prefer when my flower petals touch. I know I'm calling them flower petals already. I think they're going to look like flowers in the end. Putting your center dot, draw around. Grab whatever you have to hand. I'm using a Sakura marker. It's a Micron 08 black ink. I like to draw with a fine tip Sharpie. Gel pens are nice. Whatever you have, you can use just a ballpoint pen. You need to whip up a Valentine for your mom or your special somebody. Go ahead and grab some paper, pen, pencil, and draw along with me. Keep turning your paper, being sure to finish all four corners before you move on to the next one. And you may notice that we kind of have diamond shapes emerging between our flower shapes. That's what makes the Zentangle method for drawing so fun, is you never quite know what you're going to get, what's going to bloom and grow as you're drawing. You start out with one idea for something you're going to do, and then it takes its own direction and way of expanding beyond what you imagined sometimes. And this one, I'm just going to round that edge. Right, we don't really have our corners here, but I just imagine what that would look like and fill it in there. That one's gonna run over the edge. How is yours coming along? Are you drawing along or just watching. I know you like to watch these drawing videos because it's kind of cathartic and fun to watch it emerge, but you know, you can have the fun of watching yourself do it too if you draw along with me. So I am liking that. Who is checking in? Hi Zachary, how are you? Thanks, I appreciate it. You are welcome to just watch. That is totally fine. All right, now we're gonna add a little pencil. I just have this Zentangle pencil. Any pencil will do. And I'm going to make just some marks coming from the center of this flower shape. And then when I smooth this out with my tortillon, it's gonna make it have some dimension and pop. It's gonna make it look like this is going into the center. There we go. I should probably have some music. I didn't think about that. I haven't gone live in a long time because I get all, I don't know, it's a lot of pressure. Okay, there we go. I have those in. So now I'm just gonna smudge that. If you don't have a tortillon, you can use your finger, or you can roll up some paper and use that. And see how it's just, they're not flat anymore. They have a little more volume because of the shading helping that. And if you are using your finger, just have a clean piece of paper to clean off your finger when you're done. There we go. That looks great. Oh, Zach's eating a snack right now. What are you eating? That's funny. Okay, but we need to do a little bit more here. It's there's a lot of blank spaces still. So what I want to do is draw some lines behind and around my flowers. So I am going to fill these diamond shapes in with some lines, and I'm letting my lines be a little squiggly because everything's looking a little too perfect. And so I want some squiggly lines in here. Oops, bumped the camera. Figures. There we go, some squiggly lines. That's coming along. Now for your lines, it's really important that you start and end on a line. That's what gives it a really nice, tidy look. And I've decided that my lines are going vertically for one row of diamonds and then horizontally for the other row. All right, I'll see you when you get back. These are gonna go this direction. Okay, Zach's back. Excellent. Some people think all their lines need to be perfectly straight. I disagree. You can use a computer or a robot to do that. We want really inconsistent lines so that people know that a human made this card and not a robot or AI. And this is also how we kind of leave our own fingerprints on things that we make ourselves is those imperfections. Oh, look, I missed one. This happens all the time in Zentangle. We realize that we missed a flower or we missed filling in a spot. That's part of why we go back with these lines to hit those things we might have missed. Oh, I went the wrong direction there. That's okay. It happens. I'm gonna make this one go that way. Then I'm gonna fill this in. There we go. We gotta hit these edges. Nice. And there we can have our Valentine. I'm just gonna finish this edge off. Oh, found some things I need to hit there. By going around the outside edge. Add a little love where I miss things. There we go. I'm always turning my paper, trying to make sure that my hand is not blocking my view of the pen and what it's doing. Oops, dang it, I keep hitting my camera. Okay, so there is our first little Valentine that you could do. Put your initials down there. You have room to write around your little message, maybe what you like about the person and that kind of thing. So that's our first Valentine idea for you. I have another one. We're gonna move this card over here and grab another 3x5 card. And I have another idea. Again, I'm having fun with the grid pattern today. I am going to, let's see, we'll use this heart shape that I cut out earlier. I'm just going to trace around it. You are welcome to freehand your heart, or like I said, you can draw half, fold a 3x5 in half, draw your shape, and then cut it out. All right, there we have it. This one's going to be a little bigger, and I am going to do the whole thing straight with the marker. Oh, thanks, Zach, for saying I did a good job on that one. I appreciate it. For this one, I want my lines, well, I'm just going to go, gosh, stop thinking, just do it. Here we go. We're drawing our grid. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just laying it in there. Flip that over. And I want these to go a little bit more sideways. Now I think I have to draw a line through there, and I'm meandering it because I think that'll be fun. Okay, this is taking on a life of its own. Okay, see you later. Have a good time at 10:25. How funny. All right, I got lost in what I'm doing here, and I got new shapes. I should have stuck with my plan. Hold on. All right, here we go. I found we're just going to change plans and we're going to do a pattern called in Zeppel. And for in Zeppel, what we're going to do is wherever these things come together, we are just going to round this like a spider web. They are caught in the web of your love. Oh my gosh, that's so corny. There we go. And it's okay that we have all these different shapes. And if you think some of the shapes you have are boring, you can go ahead and add more lines. Like I want a line to go there because I feel like it was looking too uniform. And we're gonna get a line there because I don't know what I did. And we'll round that. Yep, I'm going off script here. It's getting a little crazy. There we go. And our edges, we're adding some rounding. Sorry, I bumped my camera. Zachary's back. Welcome back. This one has a different character, huh? Because I'm just adding a lot of rounding to lose those hard lines. I'm going to go around my edge. Okay, now we're going to do our shading. Thanks. I'm glad you think I draw so well. We're going to put some shading around the edges to give this a little pop. And it's going to look like a balloon got squeezed in amongst these ropes when we're finished doing this. Like maybe your love is bursting at the seams. Oh, see, I need to add some rounding up here at the top. There we go. And I'll show you how we're going to shade by shading the ones I've done so far. So we do some of that. Be sure to leave plenty of white because sometimes it can look muddy if and you lose your effect if you put too much graphite on the paper. It'll get boring. We need plenty of white to make sure that this pops. There you go. You can see how that's coming along. And I think I was putting on more graphite than I need, so I'm going to move a little faster. There's plenty on my tortillon, so I'm going to let it do the work instead of me. got a little messy down here, but you won't notice it with the finished project. In Zentangle, we say there are no mistakes. And as an artist, you just have to roll with it, because if you had a breakdown every time you made a mistake, oh my gosh, you'd be broken down. So we just roll with it. We just acknowledge our mistakes and move on. All right, we're just gonna finish filling these in here. So the funny thing is, this is not the pattern I was planning to draw at all. I got carried away, but you're flexible. You ask the drawing, all right, what do you want to be? And then you go with it. And because I've been drawing for, well, my whole life, but really actively as an artist for the last 20 years, I have a lot of vocabulary, if you will, for drawing, a lot of ideas that I can draw upon to get different results. So I don't panic or freeze up. I just go, oh, here we go. When you're a new drawer, you're still learning and acquiring the vocabulary and the different things that you can do. There we go. It's coming right along. Okay, now this little heart is finished. It looks like a bunch of balloons caught in these nets. We just add our initials down here, and you have this fun little design. I'm gonna try to do the one I intended to draw, and I'm just gonna keep drawing until my hand cramps up, I guess. That's the plan for today. All right, here's one of my little heart templates that I made. We'll see if I can stick to the plan. There we go. Again, with my marker, any marker you have will do. Feel free to join along if you want to. I'm gonna start with horizontal lines this time to keep myself on track. And try to make them bigger than you think they should be. When we do these things, we have a tendency to want to draw really small. I don't know why, but if we draw bigger, it'll go faster. And especially when we're learning, bigger is easier. Bigger is more forgiving. There we go. Now for this one, in each of these boxes, let's see, how big do I want to make it? All right, in each of these, I'm gonna draw another box. And I'm gonna begin with this line, and I'm just gonna draw perpendicular lines coming through it. Now I'm gonna rotate and I'm gonna follow my next line, and I'm gonna draw down to the next line. Turn my paper and do that again. So turning your paper and working one square at a time is really the key to getting this pattern to come out for you. And remember, we want to start on a line and end on a line. We don't really want to go over. That's how we get a really nice, clean looking effect. And I pick the line that I want to start with. I think I will start with this one. And I draw from one line to the next. This is what makes the Zentangle method for drawing really relaxing and meditative, is you're just repeating a stroke. So you don't have to think as hard, and it allows the brain to relax. Doodling like this while you're in school or doing something where you need to be paying attention can also really help you hear more and be a better listener. I take a pack of cards to church with me because it helps me pay attention if I'm drawing. And yeah, I don't care who sees that I'm drawing. I keep these 3x5 cards in my purse or backpack. When I'm flying, I like to do it. It helps me not be anxious if the flights are running late. Oh, bye. Have a good day. My name's Sherry Barrett, and I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. Zentangle is a drawing method where we just draw one stroke at a time. And you'll notice for these strokes, I'm kind of connecting it up with the ones from the previous one that I drew. We draw an X in each box, and then we fill it with lines. And each time I'm starting in the same place in my box, and I just keep going. I turn my tile and I imitate that line, and I draw from edge to edge. Grab a paper and do it with me. You'll find it's really relaxing. You might get kind of bored just watching because it's a slow practice. And what I've decided to do is to just grab those lines and pull them over like that. So maybe you forgot that it's Valentine's Day and you need to make a card for somebody. This is a really nice, fast way that you could do that. Let's see. Yeah, I start with this line. I try to always start and stop the same way so that my drawing is consistent. It's okay if it's not consistent. I don't mind that either. This pattern is so busy and full of ink that it'll look great no matter what you do. Sorry, I keep hitting my thing. I can't win with these cameras. One of mine has a bendy arm and it will like bounce around. So I'm actually using a school locker shelf that I put my phone on because it doesn't bounce around as much. Okay, we start with our square and we fill it in. Now I have been, that's looking too perfect. I feel like I want to mess that up. I guess it can be perfect. So I'm just gonna draw these lines. Isn't it funny how you start with one shape and we now have a weaving going on? These shapes look like they're weaving in and out of each other. And that's fine. But it's really important that we keep turning our tile and stick to the plan if we want to get a certain perfect result like this. So what do you think? Would you draw this? Is this the kind of Valentine that you might make for somebody? What are you doing for Valentine's Day today? If you're doing anything, you certainly don't have to. My Valentine is flying home today. He's not here. We celebrated last weekend because we knew that he was going to be traveling today. We thought we were smart. We were going to beat the crowds. The problem is here in Tennessee, we got that ice and snow. And in Tennessee, let me tell you, when there's ice and snow, people hunker down. They do not go anywhere. Well, last weekend was the first nice weekend after the snow. And so it was so crowded. We went to the mall and oh my gosh, everybody was there. We did not beat the crowds. However, we did find a spot right away in the bar area of Cheesecake Factory. And so we didn't have to wait too long. The wait for a table was an hour and a half. Sadly, we are not that patient. You notice sometimes my lines are shaky and sometimes they're more perfect and straight. That's fine with me. I actually want them to be a little more shaky so that you can tell I drew it. So it looks like a human did this. Those take a little effort, so I'm going to keep ignoring those corners because I have to think about how I need to fill them in. I know it shouldn't be hard, but sometimes it is for me. So we'll just keep these lines coming across. So yeah, we did Cheesecake Factory because it's one of the places I can get a gluten-free dessert. And it was fantastic. What else do we do? I don't remember. Gosh, it was just last weekend. Pitiful. Okay. I'm gonna come up here. The nice thing about these Sakura pens is I don't have to worry about waiting for the ink to dry. It dries pretty quickly. If you're using a jelly roll, be really careful not to get your hand in there because they do take longer to dry. Wow, I did not think about how boring this might be for you to watch this pattern. But I like to show you lots of different patterns that you can use because we're all drawn to different things. Some of us prefer rounded shapes. Some of us prefer more organic, or sorry, straight line, hard lines. Huh, that's kind of funny because that worked out nicely. There we go. So now it would go this way. I'm telling you, turning your tile is the secret to make sure you don't get lost and it keeps going the way you want it to go. There we go. So the zen of this really is just that repeated pattern. And by turning your tile, your hand gets in the habit of making the same stroke over and over again. And that's what helps you get the perfectly spaced lines. It's just really putting in the reps. And I've decided to start pulling from the lines that are already there for that one. Pull from there. And it helps it look like one continuous thing. While I'm here, I'm going to finish up my edge there of that heart. Come in here. Yeah, I guess. There we go. Finish up that edge. Come around here. But you can see now where this one is going. Let's finish off this edge as we come around here. Draw our lines. I fear this is one of those patterns that is more fun to do yourself than it is to watch. So I welcome you to grab an envelope or whatever paper you have nearby to draw along with me, because you might be getting bored watching this pattern unfold, or maybe not. I tell you, I can waste a lot of time watching those, what are they called, mow and blow videos, where they're mowing those properties that have overgrown and then blow all the junk away. Okay. Yep, it's just gonna go like that. Now I need to pull these little guys down there. Awesome. I'm gonna pull this edge up and stop at another line is part of how I make that work. Send these through here. See, now it's much more obvious to me what I need to do to finish up these triangles that I was a little intimidated by. Come around here. There we go. And one more square that needs to be finished here. And this heart is just about done. And there we have it, another Valentine heart. Now to take this over the edge, we want to start shading. So we will grab our any pencil that you have, and what I want to do is where the lines meet that are going in different directions, I'm going to add some graphite. And then I take my tortillon and I blend this, being careful to leave white in the center. And what it's going to do is it's going to allow it to look like this was woven. And that's the reason these pieces are going under and over each other. So again, just along here where they meet, I'm adding a little graphite and I'm going to blend it. And if I forgot to add the graphite, it's okay. There's still some on my tortillon that I can use. Do you see how that pattern's kind of popping now? There we go. Excuse me. The shading is really what takes a drawing to the next level. Like, I liked the pattern that we created and I thought it was pretty all by itself, but the shading just makes you go, wow, how did you do that? Because it just throws off the eye enough. Like, you know, the other pattern, you're like, oh, I could figure out how to do that if I saw it and imitate it. But as soon as I add the shading, it's like magic. I'm a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry. Okay. Oh, you can see weird things happened along here. We're just gonna ignore it. we're gonna shade the best we can. I'm just gonna shade where there's a change of direction. In Zentangle, we say that there are no mistakes. And that's what we mean by it. We just roll with it. We're not gonna panic. We're not gonna throw it away. We can still give it to somebody, because guess what? We're not perfect. It's okay. And now I'm gonna do it going the other direction for these. Send it under there. Being careful to leave white. And again, I'm shading on the side that has the many lines. Yep. Whoops. Keep bumping the camera. And there we have it. Suddenly, we have our pattern that looks like it's weaving in and out. So we'll just finish this up by signing our initials down here. And you can give that to the one that you love. They will love it. I have a couple more patterns here. All right, for this next one, we are going to use a red marker because it's Valentine's Day. And we have a red marker and we like to use whatever we have to hand. So any felt tip red marker will do. I have my little heart and I am gonna trace it first with my pencil. And then I'll go over at the end if I want to. I'm just using, oh, I grabbed a 4x6 card instead of a 3x5. Oh well, doesn't matter. Just leaves you more room to write. Oh, because I went through all my 3x5s. That's fine. I'm just gonna draw until my hand falls off. That's the plan. So let's draw our, let's get our grid going here. The grid just helps you break up a big space. Wide open spaces can be hard for our minds to figure out what to do with them. And so the grid just helps us break it into bite-sized chunks. And now for my grid, I am going to draw these swooping shapes that go from side to side. Okay? Swoop. This one's going to run off the page. This one is going to run off too, but it's going to be pretty close. And I can make them as big as I want to make them. The nice thing when you have a big shape like this is you can draw it a little faster. So if you are someone who's like, oh, I don't have the patience for that, I think you could do this one. It's going to move really quickly. So grab a marker, draw your grid, and join me. There we have it. Now it's going to start getting interesting. Because we are going to follow along that line that we just drew. This is called aura-ing, when we draw around a line that already exists. So again, I'm going to follow around this like that. Come in here and I get this one. Come in here, get this one. And notice we're just filling our space one stroke at a time, and it enables us to get these really elaborate, fancy looking designs. And we're just one line at a time, using what we already drew to give us inspiration for our next line. There we have it. Now we might like to, at these intersections, create little hearts inside our diamond shape and color those in. Because it's Valentine's Day, we have lots of love for the people in our life. We want to put those in there. So again, I'm going to just draw a heart starting in the middle, pulling down to the next line. Those of you who know me as a line dance instructor may not realize my day job for years was being an artist. And so while I no longer really work as an artist, because honestly, AI can make you anything you want faster than I can, I do like to teach people to draw because it's good for you. I think you should be drawing, right? Every little kid is an artist. They will draw. You put a pen in their hand. Adults go, oh, I'm not an artist. Well, that doesn't mean you can't have fun drawing. Everybody can have fun drawing. I'm going to make these run off the page. Those little hearts can go around there. I feel like there's still a lot of white in this. So I am going to, I want to fill in these flower shapes. So I'm turning my tile so that I can make these rounded aura lines that are just going to help that petal shape lift off the paper a little. I want this to have a lot of red in it for Valentine's Day. The funny thing is I always have a plan for these drawings, and I always change my mind as I'm going. It's the inner artist takes over and tells the bossy perfectionist to be quiet, sit down, I have an idea, I'm going to try it out. Because I did a bunch of drawings earlier, so I would know what I wanted to do when I went live. And I don't think a single one has come out the way I intended it to. So funny. But it's okay, because the important part is that you're having fun creating. It's good for us to get a break from business I'll call it responsibilities. It is our responsibility to take care of our mental health, and we can do that by drawing. Did you know that research shows dancing is actually more effective than antidepressants? There's something about moving with music that just writes us. Whether it's in your living room or at a party, turn on the music and dance. I'm a line dance instructor. That's my other job. And, you know, it's healthy. You're doing it with other people. You're getting exercise. And you don't even mind because you're having a good time. And line dancing, we're also learning choreographies, and that's good for our memory. And we all want a good memory. It's important. I think that's a lot better since I added these lines. Nice, nice. How do you like that? Is that looking good? Okay, so we're just gonna wrap it up by drawing our edge. And I just take my time around this edge and I try to end on another line. And if I miss, that's okay, but that's kind of the goal. And with the Zentangle method, we don't mind that our pencil lines show.
It's 11 o'clock.
Oh my gosh, my computer tells me the hours so that I can keep track of time and I don't get lost drawing, which I'm prone to do. Okay, another thing I can do is I can add weight to lines, and I feel like I want to add a little weight down here because I see my string. The string is what we call those, the pencil lines that we made. It's like the skeleton for our drawing. They are the structure. If you watch those Disney animators, they draw their skeleton for their characters as well, or their structure lines. Yeah, I think I like that. And I was a little messy here. I'm just gonna hide that with a thicker line. So yeah, sometimes our hands are a little shaky. I had full calf coffee today that I don't usually do. Yeah, this is also called adding weight. I'm adding weight to the line by going over it again. And because I didn't do any shading, I'm not going to do any shading with the pencil. I don't like mixing the graphite with colored markers. It tends to look, oops, sorry. I just don't like it. If I had a red color pencil, I might do some shading with red, but I don't think this drawing needs it. There we go. Here is another completed Valentine for a friend, and you can write your message around here or on the back of it. So I'm just going to show you that I draw some images first that I want to do on live, and then I come live. So here's the one that I drew that inspired this one. So I set up to draw this one because I already did it, but my artist self is like, I already did that. I want to do something different. So you can see where I was inspired by that one, but I went a different direction. Let me show you the other ones that I've drawn today and the inspiration and then how it turned out. So this was my inspiration. I drew that one, and then it turned out this way. And there you can tell that they were inspired, but they came out differently. This one ended up weaving. That one was a little more random. And I like them both for different reasons. They both work. Then I have this one. Oh, this is the one I drew. Oops, this was the inspiration for it. So this one stayed pretty close. But it's okay to just see where it takes you. And one of the things I love is that no two will come out the same. Oh, the other funny thing I want to show you is actually when I thought I was going to draw this one, I got lost making my grid, and because I went slanty and then my brain was like couldn't figure out how to do this, so I did a different pattern. So as an artist, we just pivot, we go with it and see what happens. Now those have all been very structured grid patterns. For this next one, I want to do something that's a little less structured. I'm going back to my 3x5 card, and I don't think I want to use my red. I think I'm going to go back to my black. I'm going to use this little fatty. It might be too big. I'm going to use a smaller fatty. Yeah, this one's smaller. Feel free to draw along with me. You just need a piece of paper. I'm using 3x5 cards. You can cut out a little template by folding one in half and doing that. Now this one, if you prefer more organic shapes, I think you're really going to like this one. Oh, this one really goes to the edge of the paper. Oh, well, that's fine. It is what it is. Okay, so for this one, we're going to be doing flux. And flux is a really fun organic shape. I don't know what you call this, but this is the shape we're making. It's like a leaf shape, I guess. And we're going to draw a line up the middle and then put 2 dots. And I'm just going to keep doing this all the way around my heart. And I let it look like it's tucked behind the one in front of it. And then I draw my 2 dots. Again, start at the one, tuck it behind, draw your line and your dots. And we're going to do this all the way around our heart. And this is the magic where people are like, how did you get that in such a perfect heart shape? I started with a string that was a heart. String in Zentangle language is that structure that you use for your drawing. And I just keep coming around. And pulling it down. Notice this one is really reaching around there because I'm coming around the bend. And some people, you know, get frustrated. Oh, yours are so perfect. Well, I draw every day. If you draw every day, yours will look perfect too. In art classes, we would have to draw one line, varying its thickness. I prefer Zentangle as a method for getting better at drawing because you are getting those stroke counts in, but you're making something that's pleasing to look at the same time. And I really like that. Okay, I came around that edge. Now I'm going to go back down here to the bottom and do my next edge. So I'm going to actually wrap this one on top of that one, like that. And these are just pulling up and around. And in the Zentangle process, we just find it really relaxing to do these repeating strokes, repeating patterns. This is also, the things I've been doing today are considered monotangles. In the Zentangle method, you would normally do multiple, like several different tangles inside various string bits. I like monotangles, and that's just where you use one tangle pattern at a time. It enables me to perfect my technique with the tangle pattern. Right, I'm trying to decide what I want to have happen here. And so there we go. Those are coming together. Now you have the option that you could write your love's name in here, or you could write your message inside of the heart. So I think this is a really nice thing to do. You could also copy this onto a blank card. And if you need to make Valentines for a lot of people, you can copy this on your cards and write their name, and then it's a personalized Valentine. For the purpose of this, though, I'm going to keep filling this in. Maybe what I'll do, though, is I want to leave a little heart in the center. So I'm going to leave a little heart shape in the center. And now I want to fill in all around it with more flecks. So I'm just going to pull up smaller flecks here that are going to fill in the spaces around my heart. And when I get these areas, I'm going to put a little pearl in there and then color in around it, just like so. I'm going to put a little flex here, add my pearl, and color in around it. Do you see how that's going? I can use bigger flecks on this side because I have more room around the heart than I did on the other side. And there where I made a little mistake, I just fill it in. I don't panic, I just fill it in. And I can decide that I want this one coming up behind that other one. That adds interest too when we get these layers of overlapping. It's really nice. I'm just going to fill in those shapes near the heart. I don't think they need a pearl. So I've decided we have a little aggressive bundle of flecks there. And I'm going to fill that in. So we're just using this pattern to fill in our heart all the way around. And you can draw along with me with any products you may have. A Sharpie will do nicely, a ballpoint pen if that's what you have. The fun is just being involved, learning these repeating patterns that we can use to decorate anything we want. Around and around we go. So what do you think? Did you enjoy the grid pattern better, or do you like this flex shape? You can let me know in the comments which one works better for you. I'm going to fill some pearls in there. And see, this is filling in nicely. I'm going to make a really big flex there. Notice the smaller you make them, the more you need to add. The larger you make them, it goes a little faster. There we go. I just made that one go that direction. Come around here. And there you have it. So maybe you forgot to buy a Valentine's Day card and you need to whip something up really quickly. This is a fun little thing to do. I know you're thinking, I could just run to the store and buy one easier. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know how crowded it is out there and if all the cards have sold. And people love to get a handmade card. They're very impressed. You drew this? Yeah, I drew that. You are welcome. How is yours coming along? Are you drawing along with me or are you just watching? I know sometimes it's very cathartic to watch somebody else do all the work. But I would encourage you to do it. You can watch yourself do it. It's pretty amazing. You might be going, I can't do that. You can, it's just one stroke at a time. And your hand will get smoother and faster with repetition, right? That's how we get better at things, is through repetition. of those strokes. And I'm going to be finished with this one in no time. Put a few pearls in here. There we go. We are finishing that right up. Throwing some pearls. What I like about this pattern is it kind of reminds me of marcasite jewelry when we fill in with these orbs. You know, it gives it kind of a jeweled effect that I think is neat. I actually wish I would have put more in to get that effect. But you get going in the flow of things, and then however it goes down, that's how it goes down. So I'm just going to fill in a couple more of these little spots. Excellent. There's our heart. Now to take it over the edge, we are going to add our shading. Shading is the real magic of the Zentangle method because it gives you that 3D effect that's so pleasing. So I'm just going along the edge of my heart, and then I'm gonna, with little circular motions, using my tortillon, I am blending that up, and it just helps lift my heart up off the paper and give it that wow factor that we want with our drawings. Now we don't want to shade too far up. We want to make sure we're leaving white, or you just get a big gray blob for your effort. And we don't want a big gray blob. We worked really hard on this. And you know, yeah, red is the traditional Valentine's Day color, but there's no reason why your drawing and your Valentine can't be black and white. Black and white is a normal, acceptable, like when you draw, that's what it is, black and white. Nice. See how that pops up off the paper? Now I am just going to soften this heart by giving it a little bit of shading as well in the middle here. I put my pencil on the bottom. I did not put pencil on the top because I'm just gonna drag around what I have on my pencil already. I also want to make these look like they're tucking behind and they're growing up out of there, so I'm gonna use the graphite that's left on my tortillon to make these come out from behind the flux that they are coming out from behind of. There we go. And there we have our hand-drawn Valentine. For people that we love, we will just add our initials right here. And you can write your message to your loved one on the back of your card. I am Sherry Barrett. I am a certified Zentangle teacher, and I thank you for drawing along with me today. I'm gonna head out to the rest of my day. I hope you enjoyed this and came up with something that you can use. I showed you the inspiration for my others. This is the inspiration I had for this one that I drew just now. You'll see I went different directions. I thought the rod through the heart was a little much, so that maybe I shouldn't go that way. This says I love you a little bit more than you drove a stake through my flowery heart. Have a great day. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I love ya. Bye. Aw, thanks for the hearts.